Hey guys, this is a new series I'll be doing on videos that don't make any sense at all. Today I'll be doing Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared, because the new episode came out just on June 19th. In 2011, This Is It Collectives actually made a video that went viral on the web called Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared. It features 3 puppets, one red, one green, and one yellow. And the first shot of them is sitting at a table. You then see a notebook come open, and it starts talking about ways to be creative. Now, when the puppets actually start to be creative, the notebook doesn't really like that. So, like when the yellow guy says green is his favorite color, she says that's not a creative color. So, and then everything starts to turn dark. So, the notepad didn't actually like it when they started to be creative. And that's all that really happens in episode 1, so let's move on to episode 2. This episode had a teacher also, just like the first one, except this time it was a clock. He was talking about time and how time basically is supposed to help you, but when the puppets are thinking for themselves and doing what they want, the clock doesn't like that, and at the end of the episode, he makes them all die. In this episode, we met a new character. His name is Roy. He has an R on his chest, so we think his name is Roy, and he is supposed to be the yellow guy's dad. There wasn't a lot of significance to this episode. You can see a cage in the corner. I think they own a pet rat, as you can see a hole in the wall there. And there's also a rat hole in episode 1 in the wall. But it's not really that important, so I'll just get to that later. This was the beginning of episode 3. You can see it pops up with some letters, Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared. Then it has a missing poster, which I'll explain that a little bit later. This episode did have a lot of secrets hidden in it. It shows first a shot of the puppets, and they're sitting there with a picnic. And then the red guy said, I wonder what will happen. This episode was about love, and the teacher was a butterfly whose name was Shrignald, I think. And he was just kind of talking about really what love is, and the yellow guy really didn't know that much about it. And he was just kind of telling him to leave his friends and join him, because they were serving a king, and he was just really asking him to join them and become a part of them so he can find his special person. And I quite like this one because this is the first time that you can actually see Roy in the back, hiding somewhere. And right here, he's in the back while they're all praising the king that they serve. And he's actually been hiding in every episode since this one. It also is the first time we see and Roy at the end of the credits. Now, who is the character that has been hiding in every episode since episode 3, and actually when he made his appearance in episode 2? Roy. Roy is the yellow guy's dad, so I'll get on to more of that later. He does play a big part, I think, in the whole series. Oh, and I still can't explain the end of episode 3. What is that thing that comes out of the egg? If you know, please comment and tell me, because I don't know what it is. But it does say, Father! So, that might have something to do with this story. Now on to episode 4. This episode is about the 3 puppets. They're starting to play a game, and they get stuck on a question, what is the biggest thing in the world? And then they see a globe, and they're kind of looking at it, looking for answers. And then the computer actually interrupts and tells them how great this media world is, this computer world. And he talks about how smart he is and how he can do like everything. And the yellow guy wishes he was as smart as a computer. And in this one, there was quite a weird ending. You once again see Roy hiding in the corner, and then you see the red guy on the computer. But then he opens a door and he's somewhere else, and it's with these things that look like they've been made by the creators or something, and it's of the 3 puppets, and then his head actually is exploded. And it of course says, "And Roy" at the end of the credits. This is Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared 5. This one's actually about eating healthy. Now, the red guy's actually already missing in this one, and it's just the bird and the yellow guy. Now, there are quite a few things in this one also, and I'll get to those. The teachers in this episode were a steak and a can, and the phone keeps ringing the whole episode, but that is explained at the end. The bird is the one in this episode who starts thinking for himself. The last half of the episode, he's actually on a hospital bed, and he's cut open by this can, and then is eaten by the yellow guy. Very weird ending. I think he just dies, basically, in this episode. And we'll see him again a little bit later in episode 6, which is the new episode. It once again says, "And Roy" at the end of the credits, but this time you see the red guy walking away from the phone box, which kind of tells you that he was the one calling, and that's why the phone kept on ringing. He entered into this world where he wasn't controlled anymore by these teachers, and he was trying to get the other 2 out, I think. But there's also something else. Roy was actually in this episode, and he was hiding in the corner of the room, like at the ceiling, when the bird flipped over the camera. Before we move on to the 6th episode that I will spend some more time on explaining, since it did just come out, I want to point out something else that has been reappearing in Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared. June 19th. June 19th has been in every video on that calendar. Now, I'm going to explain June 19th as best as I can, and the new episode actually just did come out on June 19th this year. There's actually a fundraiser video for Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared called The Kickstarter, and it shows a full date this time, 1906-1955. So, this is June 19th, 1955. What's significant about that date is that it was Father's Day. Now, what's significant about June 19th this year, everybody? That it was Father's Day also. Yeah, this is the red guy. Thank you, red guy, that's right. And actually, that was just something I wanted to point out, because the Roy does keep appearing. And it's not really that significant except for that did give us the date for the 6th episode and its release. But yeah, it didn't really play a big part in the 6th episode, which I'm going to explain now. This episode starts out with the yellow guy laying in bed, and the lamp turns on, and starts talking about dreams. And I really love this episode. I think it might be my favorite, because it features all the teachers, Roy, the red guy, and the bird, which we'll get to the bird later, but it was probably my favorite episode. This video reuses lyrics from the other songs, and that's why I really like it. It's just basically going back through the whole series, and it's just showing all the teachers in his dreams, and when the lamp says, "You're having a bad dream," it starts to show the teachers from 2 through 5, and then there's some other characters that, like a stoplight, and then it also has the universe. It's really cool. But I did feel bad for the yellow guy. He started crying because the bad dream, he wanted it all to stop. And, I think the red guy was trying to save him, but he was just messing up with this machine, and it was just showing all the teachers, but then something happened. You then see Roy tap the red guy's shoulder, and then the final part of the episode happens, and it is all red guy pulls the power box and says, "I wonder what will happen." You then see new puppets, but they're the same people, but they're just different colors. And notice how they're their favorite colors from episode 1. And I think this is because they're not controlled by Roy anymore. I think Roy actually had some type of machine to control these 3 puppets, because the red guy actually did pull that box, and I think that's what was controlling these 3 puppets. And that's really just my theory on Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared. And the clock changes to June 20th. So, maybe they were stuck in that day where Roy was controlling that day, Father's Day. So, it's so awesome. And I hope you guys enjoyed this theory. I'll try to make some other videos like this. Please subscribe, comment. Please leave the comments. Make them appropriate for everyone. No hateful comments. But I'll be happy to read your theories, so please leave those too. See you guys. It's all interesting, but something's missing. What is the name Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared? Okay, so this is just my theory. I think that Roy may have tried to give the yellow guy a bedtime hug before he started having those bad dreams. Or maybe he tried to give him a hug before he left that world. And he probably said, "Don't hug me, I'm scared," because those dreams were scaring him. I'll see you guys later. And by the way, that's a mannequin. I was taking a selfie with a mannequin.